How often are you guys seeing a house that was maybe listed without staging, didn't move, and then they get you guys involved?
For an agent that I knew personally, I had worked at the same brokerage as him, where they called me and said, hey, we're doing a full rebranding. Like, we went a little high on pricing. Our initial contract is expiring. We're going to leave it off the market. We're going to hire you to come in and stage it. We're going to do a little bit of a price drop. We're doing new photography. We're basically doing a whole new rebrand, and it's going to launch as a new listing. It went under contract within a week. And this was, not a house that would normally go that quickly, I mean, it's a beautiful house.
Yeah.
But it just helped. It was vacant before. They had some funky colors on the walls, and, people couldn't get past it when they went in and looked at it as a vacant house.
Welcome to the Studio 321 podcast, powered by Brightway, the Steve Trout Agency. We're sitting down with real estate pros, insurance nerds, mortgage masterminds, and local legends who are making moves on the Space Coast. Hosted by the best insurance crew in the 321. At Studio 321, it's all about community, real connections, and sharing a few laughs along the way. Strap in, let's launch into today's episode. My next guest knows something that most sellers don't figure out until it's too late. That the way a home looks on day one of a listing can mean the difference between top dollar and a price cut. Shannon Connell is the owner of the Staging Boutique right here on the Space Coast. She spent 13 years as a real estate agent and watched staging change the outcome of listings over and over again. So she went all in and built a business around it. She's a certified home stager, a Merritt Island native, a UCF alum, and she brings a level of real estate knowledge to the staging world that most stagers simply don't have. And she brought her husband, Gerry, along for the ride. Together, they're serving sellers and agents all across Brevard, from Titusville down to Palm Bay, helping homes sell faster and for more money. Shannon and Gerry, welcome to the studio.
Thanks, Steve.
What up?
What's up, man?
How you guys doing?
Good.
Great.
How are you?
Good to be here. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. No, thanks for coming in. It means a lot. Obviously, my co-host here, Diana, is also part of your team.
She is.
First hire.
Yes.
She is great. Couldn't do it without her.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it.
Yes.
I left him to come to you.
Well, it's
Yeah,
great
what was it
having
like having your first hire where you just show up and you're like, wow, this girl can actually like design stuff and stage and...
Gosh, she's been a lifesaver. Before Diana, it was like just me out doing everything, and it was overwhelming.
Yeah, I bet.
And Diana loves to come in and like decorate and do, shelves. Anytime we did a stage that had shelves, we'd be like, oh,
I know it's
gosh.
weird. Like we can do things like she likes beds. I hate beds. I'm like, I'll try to like put the comforter on, and I'm like, Shannon, you got to come fix this.
For me, the thing I like most is when Diana's there, the job gets done much quicker.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's
She's probably the most
I
decisive
remember one
person.
time Gerry walked in and he's like, you guys are done? I was like, yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Once Diana started, when she started showing up to the stages, it was like the time it took us to do a stage she's like so fast.
Yeah.
She's very goal oriented. Like, okay, what's next? I got this shelf done. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to do that. So she really.
That has always been like one of her superpowers, even at our house, where like she'll like just look at a room and go, this is what we need to do. She has a vision for it.
There's a lot of people that don't have that vision. And I think really that is a big aspect of staging and why it's so important. There's so many buyers that walk into a house and they just can't visualize it. I mean, I can do the same thing. It's kind of, I would say it's a superpower. I've always been able to walk into a house and just be able to visualize like, oh, here's the layout or here's a renovation. I know exactly what it's going to look like, but most people cannot walk into a house and see that.
Yeah,
So
it shows you the
important.
potential of what it could be, right? And like if you walk into a house that maybe they're still living in and it's cluttered and all kinds of things, it's almost like, man, that house looks small.
Yeah.
Because there's so much clutter, right?
That's
And then
true.
you guys come in and clean it up and it's like, oh, wow, that looks different.
Yes.
There's
You
even
know?
houses that we've stepped in and we're like, oh my gosh, we don't know if we could like fix this house.
Yeah.
But at the end, we're like, wow, it really did change it. All right, we're going to rewind a little bit and talk about how you got started in this.
Okay.
We jumped out the gate with me. It's not about me, it's about you.
So you spent 13 years as a real estate agent before launching the Staging Boutique.
did.
Kind of tell us about that journey and what really brought you to the point to do this.
Yeah. So I've always loved real estate from the time that we bought our first house. So we bought our first house back in 2009 before we were even married. And I loved the whole process of it. So after we bought our house, I went and got licensed in real estate and worked in real estate for a long time. And I never planned on getting out of real estate. When I started staging houses, I did not anticipate that it would blow up into like this full-time job where Gerry's on board with me and we have employees and all the things I
So it pretty much started though, because you started staging your own listings, correct?
It did. So I had pretty high expectations and standards for my listings. And I wanted something that not only the design was to a certain standard, but I needed the scheduling and the reliability. And, there was just kind of a gap in the market there. So I said, I'm just going to do it myself. Like I built it. And I think it just kind of grew organically from there with other agents kind of seeing what we were doing and what I was doing and just like letting other agents know. They're like, oh, who staged that house? I'm like, oh, I did it.
Right.
Who staged your listing? Oh, I did it, and it just kind of grew organically from there. I think when you are a listing agent, there's so much that goes into it. I mean, you guys know from the timelines with contracts and things like that with insurance aspects, it's no different in the very beginning of the process either. As a listing agent, you have to go in and you're working with your sellers and you have to give your sellers timelines. So you have to be working with vendors that are on that same timeline. You can't have a vendor that's going to give you a date and a time and then they don't show up.
Yeah.
Or they're making you push back photography or whatever. So I've always come into it with that aspect from the listing agent side or from the agent side of it, saying these are the standards and this is the process.
And it's a timeline.
It's a timeline. And
if you don't show up, then their timeline's all set back. Yeah.
Our foundation of this business is kind of building a process that agents can rely on. They know I text them before we get there and say, hey, I'm going to be there around 10 o'clock. We should be done by 1. Schedule your photography for the next day.
There's
or
some
later
people,
that day.
There's some people that were leaving and the photographer's coming in.
Yeah, exactly. So it's super important. I mean, it's just kind of a foundation that we've built it on. Gerry's come in and really perfected that process. He comes in with the background of, operations and things like that and building processes and procedures. And it's really.
So that's an interesting story that people might not know. You were a 9-to-5 corporate job for how many years?
I was for 15 years.
And you stepped away and now you're working for the staging boutique full time.
I did. I stepped away from it. I saw what Shannon was building. I didn't understand it at first. I understood the real estate part. We talked a lot about that. But what I think I was able to do is take my experience in corporate America and working on private jets with high wealth individuals where I worked and taking, not just the processes, but the customer experience overall and applying that to, our little small business and trying to make it scalable, so one
He's
of the things,
muscles and the organization and the
I can carry
he
a lot
moves
of
the
things,
furniture
too.
in and out, but he's also done great things with doing inventory and making sure explain the whole system you kind of created. That's pretty cool.
So what prompted that was obviously my experience, but it was really going into a job and the whole job was in Shannon's head.
It's true.
So I couldn't do anything until she told me what she was thinking.
What she needed, what she wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have to get everything loaded up and ready for a job. And it was always on the fly and it was very inefficient. And I said, we need to have more efficiency, much like we talked about you coming in and making decisions on what we need to do. So that was where we built an app. I had a lot of inventory management experience in my previous career, and applying that into what we did allowed us to build an app. It was tough getting all of our inventory eventually migrated into the app because most of our inventory was out in stages. So it was probably
slowly as the inventory came in, you were able to stock the system.
Right. 6 to 8 months really to get everything in there. Everything new, obviously we could add, but we had, we built the system even just for adding things to the system.
Right.
And we were able to get everything in there. And now the whole design for a stage is built ahead of time. I know everything that needs to go in there.
And virtually they you pick and drag. I've never gone in the system, but
yeah, we pick and drag, what's going to go in, or if we're going to go destage a house, we're going to take pieces from that house and pieces from our inventory in the warehouse, and we're going to build out the entire design, even down to how we load the truck.
Yeah.
So when we load the truck a certain way, it's so that when things come out, they come out in the order they need to, so that, you know, if Dinah's there helping or Danielle's there helping on the stage, you know, they can start getting things placed into their spots, or the rugs need to come out first, not last. You know, so there's different things like that we've optimized to where sometimes behind the scenes, getting everything loaded up can be a little bit chaotic at times. But when we show up to a stage, I feel like we've gotten that, I wouldn't say perfected. You're never perfect, but we've improved efficiency to where if everything's loaded right, it only takes a couple hours to knock out the job.
Yeah.
I would say from outside looking in, for me, like, I've just been really impressed. I mean, you guys got a lot of inventory moving around constantly.
So much.
They're always building furniture. You should see their front porch. It's just piles of
I know. And then I'll see your posts where, like, your entire, you can't even see your house. It's just boxes of furniture that you have to put together. It's incredible.
Yesterday.
No, but I mean, it's incredible. Like, I was thinking about logistically that the other day, like, man, that's got to be a lot going on. I mean, because how many houses do you guys have outstaged at any one time? Do you know?
It depends. Right now we have 42 houses.
We have 42 houses.
And that's crazy because when I first started working with you guys a year ago, you guys were like super proud. There, I think you had 20. And you were overwhelmed. You know, but they have, you know, when they destage a house, a lot of that inventory goes right back in, and then they put it back into another. It's like a It's pretty well oiled.
Yeah,
Jerry came in, worked out the kinks, and
And that's just on the logistics side. The other side that I've been heavily involved with is the finance side. So, you know, we're trying to grow this responsibly. You know, obviously this is supporting our family. So we can't just go and buy an abundance of inventory. One, logistically, we don't have the room for it all. But two, we need to do it in a smart way. So, you know, tracking our CapEx expenses between the inventory, the trucks, the buildings, but also our operating expenses, you know, and tracking that closely. I try to discuss it with Shannon often. She sort of just says, I trust you, but it's an important piece to it to make sure that
you want to make sure you're still having a profit at the end of the day, and you're not
you ain't doing it. You're doing this to make money. I mean, at the end of the day,
and that's where the inventory is an asset to the business, and it's an important piece to it, but we can't buy too much. But we need to make sure we have enough, not just for the next stage, but
to make sure every stage, like you went back and said, you know, you had a particular way you wanted everything to look. So being low on inventory and not having everything that meets your requirements is a must. You know?
I mean, we've been super blessed to be able to grow the business in a way where we actually own all of our inventory. I have people ask me quite often, like, how do you acquire your inventory? How do you do all of this? Like, some people rent furniture, but we own all of our furniture outright. It's definitely a process. You know, there's so much that goes into it. I get so many people all the time that are like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool! You just get to design houses all day." But
they don't see reality the ugly too.
Yeah, in reality, like the designing or the decorating a house is probably 15% of really what you do. They don't see the hours and hours of
all the
not
prep
only
that goes into it,
but I mean, literally all day yesterday on a Sunday, we were putting furniture together. We were getting rid of boxes. We were organizing the warehouse. Like, there's so much that goes into it.
You're meeting the realtor at the house to see if this is even going to be a match and going to calls and seeing.
There's just so much that goes into it. I don't know. It's a super cool business. I definitely never thought that I would be where I am. But nobody sees
the behind the scenes.
Oh, no.
They see the fixed up, staged, fully, you know.
Every once in a while I'll post stuff like behind the scenes what you don't see. You know?
Like me and Danielle trying to get the floor outlet up.
It's fun.
Or Jerry loves our woman measurement when we hang pictures. That's his fave.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
What are you,
I'm like
using your hands?
I'm like doing arm lengths, fingers, and I'm like, it's like my fingertips to my elbow and a couple fingers up, and he's like, oh geez.
Yeah, the back of the frame is this wide, so they're like, okay, so it's like, oh, that'll be
We're doing a fingertip. I'm like, okay, it's to my knuckle, and then I'm putting it here. Okay, the angle of the nail. Hey, it looks good.
It's weird because when I first came in, I was like, I'm not hanging anything, Shannon. And then I saw how Shannon did it, and I was like, okay, that's pretty much how I hang stuff too. So now I'm like hanging everything.
Jerry calls it our shotgun. He's like,
I'm
you guys
like,
have your
here's your
shotgun.
shotgun and your shotgun shells, so you're hammering your nails. I get in there with a level and a measuring tape, and they're like, get out of here.
It takes too long. We're all about efficiency here.
Yeah, it's
supermarket sweep.
That's right. That's right.
I hung something in our bathroom. She wanted me to hang a mirror in the bathroom the other day, and it's like this heavy mirror, and of course it's the one that has like literally just the hole over this on the left side and the hole on the right side. So you got to get it just right for it to hang right. And I'm sitting there, I'm doing my measurements and all this stuff, dude. Somewhere along the line, I royally screwed up because I put these big mollies in it to hold it because it's pretty heavy, and I went to hang it up, and it's hitting the sink, and I'm like, how did I like? And I did like the second measurement off the wrong part or something. It was ridiculous, dude. But she's like screaming at me in the background. I'm like, it'll be fine. It'll cover up.
Yeah. I will say hanging pictures is probably one of the worst parts. Like, oh, it's time to hang pictures.
Yeah. And it's the last step.
Yeah, it's like the last
So you're
thing.
like ready to be done, and then you have to hang pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do hate hanging pictures. She'll ask me to hang a picture, and it'll take me like a month to get to that project.
You don't really use the hooks either.
Yeah.
Like literally take the paper. We literally take the paper backing and hang it off like the frame of the picture.
Yeah.
We do the easy route for hanging pictures.
Right.
Anytime
it's not staying up there forever. No.
So how scary was it for you guys? Because as a business owner ourselves, we're like, how scary was it to like for Gerry to step away and to go all in on this? And go, we're really doing this, right? Like that had to be I'm sure you didn't come to that conclusion overnight, but like, what was the moment where you were like, we're going to do this?
For me, it had a lot to do with our family. Yeah. Obviously we needed the business to work and we had a model that made sense, but the amount of time I wasn't home and seeing the opportunities that I had to be more involved with coaching, more involved with my kids, just taking them to and from school was something I couldn't do. Mm-hmm. And having that opportunity was motivation enough to know that if I can do more of that, then we'll figure out a way to make this work, to be honest with you. And that was a huge motivator to make the business successful, was just being there to be a better dad.
And sometimes money is not always,
you were traveling a lot. You were out of town a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And for me, that's really what it came down to. The longer I worked where I did, that corporate lifestyle was starting to wear on me.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was coming home a lot with, some extra baggage that I didn't want. Yeah. And, granted, there's plenty of stress here, but we own all of it. We control, the outcomes in a lot of ways. And I feel like owning that is a better, more healthy stress than some of the stress that I was dealing with.
No, absolutely.
But just the simple task of taking the kids to school and dropping them off, like I do not take that for granted.
Yeah.
And even though she might be able to take them or I can take them, I'll go a lot of times too, just because I couldn't do it for most of my kids' lives up to this point.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I really enjoy that.
No, that's really good stuff.
But back to your question, that's where I started kind of running the books for the business a little bit. And I started seeing about how much the inventory procurement costs were, what our average revenue per stage was, and then just using that data to determine what the potential growth was. One of the challenging things, and preparing for this podcast was trying to look at some of the market statistics. And unlike looking at closings and number of houses on the market, we can't see how many houses are staged, overall, holistically. Yeah. So, a loose goal we have is we want to have market share in Brevard County for staging jobs, but there's no way to know
exactly how much you guys are taking.
It's not an MLS checkbox that you can use for statistical purposes. So, but we could look at what we had. We could look at the top, 100 agents and see who's working with us, who's partnered with us on that list. And you can roughly kind of gauge how much our growth is in the local Brevard market. And I could see with Shannon's network she's built over 15 years that it was going in the right direction. And I could see based on inventory procurement, what that cost was for the revenue it was bringing in, what that growth could look like if we continued on the path we were on.
Yeah.
And to me, it made sense.
And looking at that top 100 is where you want to be. I mean, we look at that for the agency as well. I mean, those are most of the realtors that are doing most of the business.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, and we partner with a lot of those agents. So
that's awesome.
No, I love that, man, because there's probably a lot of people that are going to listen to this and like they have a dream or they have a goal that they want to do, and there's their job's holding them back or something financially is holding them back. So it's cool to hear a story where it was like you were able to look at the data and really dial it in and figure out and go, we're going to freaking do this.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. That's freaking awesome.
You
guys should be super proud of that.
In the scheme of things,
Yeah. I don't know if Shannon's any happier, but I am certainly.
You guys actually do really well together, because people would ask me and I was like, I'm not really with him when we work together. We weren't really side by side at all like you guys are.
Right.
So I can't compare even us working together. Like I was out around the county marketing the agency. Yeah. So you guys are moving dressers together. Like you're like in each other's space.
That's a big test.
Yeah.
It is.
I have a lot of people.
Moving furniture together is a big test. There's no doubt about it.
That's why I go to the gym a lot. No, it's I'd say there was a bit of I would say like a learning curve, but we just kind of had to figure out the balance of like a work-life balance. I was used to being the one that went to get the kids, and I went to all the school activities, and like I was the one that was there. And then when Gerry came home from the corporate job and started working within the home, like just the happiness within the kids, and like it was so cool to see. But there definitely was a work-life balance that we had to figure out. Like he would want it like numbers. Like I really don't want to hear about
See,
the
that's
numbers.
the hardest thing we had too. Like we went out on date nights and we would talk about the agency and what's happening. Now that I'm not here, that's not on my forefront anymore.
Now I get to like only really bring up stuff if I really need her advice or help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where before it was like consumed our lives.
Right.
Yeah, there was a time that I would say it definitely consumed the conversations, and that was definitely during the growth period.
Yeah.
When he first came on, where it was like, we have to make this work.
Yeah.
Like there's no plan B. At the time I was still selling some real estate too. So I did have that type of income coming in, but that wasn't a priority at that point. I knew that if we wanted this business to grow, like that had to go by the wayside, and we needed to dive 100% into the staging side of it. So it did consume a lot of conversations for a long time, but with the growth that we've had and how we've built the processes and procedures.
Yeah. So how much, what did the business look like before Gerry came on, and what does it look like now?
Oh man. Before Gerry came on, like he said, it was all in my head. Like it was really, oh gosh, it was
a dream that you didn't have on paper.
It was a vision.
Yeah.
The vision was in her head. She was pulling things off, but it was all
hard.
her.
Yeah.
I mean, before even I came, it said that you would be at a house almost all day long staging by yourself, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, my mom helped me a lot. Oh, my poor mom. Bless her.
But yeah, the whole thing was in her head, as far as whose houses are staged, when are the renewals up, how much was your revenue per stage, how much was the procurement of all this inventory. And the answer was typically, I don't know, or I'll get it to you later. But it was hard to have a predictable outcome when all of that was in her head. Yeah. She was doing a good job. The business was growing. There was more interest in what she was doing.
But you were stressed.
But there was no way to know, is this working? Is this not working? And that's really where I was like, okay, we got to organize all of this and figure out, is this even actually making income, or is it just costing us money? Because it was hard to know.
Yeah.
And there are some months where, that's why I try to keep the CapEx expenses separate from the OpEx expenses, because we do have months where, we may be in the red when you add in the CapEx expenses, but that inventory will turn over and over and over again to where it eventually becomes profitable.
And it all kind of evens out. There's some weeks that you have none, and there's some weeks that you're booked all week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So as long as our OpEx expenses don't get out of hand, then the business model continues to work. As long as the business, we continue to get new.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a huge relief for you, Shannon, not carrying all that in your head constantly. Yeah. Like now it's on paper, now it's in a system, now it's like you're not having to connect the dots constantly.
I think a lot of it came from when I started staging. I didn't anticipate that it was going to become what it is. So it just kind of grew and grew as more people asked me to stage for them. So I never had the processes and procedures. I'd be like, okay, I've got 3 houses worth of furniture, and it just built and built and built. And then it finally reached a point where there was a transition within the company Gerry was working with, and he had the opportunity to come work with me, and it was like, we can make this work. And so it was nice to have him come on, because he was able to lay all of that out for me and be like,
and I feel like as you slowly keep continuing to grow, there is going to be a time where both of you can step back and you're not fully in it. I mean, it's hard. We'll even say, like, nobody's ever going to run your business like you do, or 100%. Care about it as much as you do, but you'll find the right people that want to give that to you.
Yeah. In terms of growth, since Gerry's come on, we've hired you to come on the part-time basis, coming in and helping us do the designs and the stages themselves. But we've also hired another full-time stager, Danielle. I know we've mentioned her a few times on here, but she's kind of taken over the design part of it. She comes from a staging background in Texas. She worked with one of the top 5 staging companies in all of the United States. So she's a really strong stager. She kind of knows all of that. So that was a big win, being able to bring on another stager to help.
And you got somebody that was more committed than, hey, I'll do it a couple days a week.
No, but it's great to have both of you guys on board, because not only are you guys fabulous additions to our team, and
it's nice too. Like, she'll even look at me and she's like, so what do you think? And I'm like, I don't even have the experience that you do, but I'm glad you're asking me.
But I mean, for me, it definitely took off a lot of the stress of, the design, making sure there's so much that goes into it. You have to think about your inventory. Let's say I've got 4 stages this week, or if not more. I have to really plan out what I'm going to put in each stage
and make sure you have everything that you need.
Absolutely. And before I had any help with staging, it was like, okay, do I have enough bar stools for this one? Do I have all of the things that I need? That was in my head. Then I'm waking up at 5 a.m. to pack all my bins and my artwork, and then I'm going to pack up the truck with Gerry. And we do have movers, by the way. We just don't use them all the time. And it's just, there's so many different aspects of it. So hiring Danielle and Diana to come in and take over a portion of that has really been...
She showed up, last week, and she's like, you guys are already done?
Yeah. So it's allowed me to kind of go out.
That's
and do
how
a
it
little
should
bit.
be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the goal, right?
It's allowed me to go out and do more marketing.
For someone who has never hired a stager, walk us through working with the staging boutique, what it actually looks like from that first call to a fully staged and ready for the market.
We're either getting calls from homeowners or we're getting calls from agents. It's really going to be the same process no matter what. I kind of ask, like, do you have pictures of the house? Do you know which rooms you want staged? From there, sometimes we'll have to come out and actually walk the property. Most of the times I can provide a quote based on pictures or which rooms we want staged. I'll provide the quote. I provide our timeline. Typically, I'd say I like to get a week's notice of, here, we'd like it staged next Tuesday or whatnot. A lot of times I can try and squeeze it in, and we have the bandwidth now with the more stagers that we can kind of do more than one stage in a day if we really need to. From there, I'll give you a timeline. Usually we like to show up by 10 o'clock. Most of the time, depending on the size of the house, we're done by 1. And then you've got a contract. We do like 60-day contracts, and you've got the furniture for 60 days, and
then they can extend it if they want to.
Hopefully they don't need to.
And most then of them the cost is per room, correct?
Yeah. So I charge per room. We have base pricing, but it's most of the time I don't charge based on square footage. I charge by room. So.
How often are you guys seeing a house that was maybe listed without staging, didn't move, and then they get you guys involved? How does that look? Do you got any cool stories there?
She does, and those are some of probably the most satisfying situations for us, is when they call us with that scenario. We come in and do what we do, and then see the house go under contract within a week. It's a pretty satisfying feeling knowing that, that part of the strategy helped move things forward.
Yeah. The first one I did was for an agent that I knew personally. I had worked at the same brokerage as him. Not the first stage, but the first one where they called me and said, hey, we're doing a full rebranding. Like, we went on a little high on pricing. Our initial contract is expiring. We're going to leave it off the market. We're going to hire you to come in and stage it. It needs staging. We're going to do a little bit of a price drop. We're doing new photography. We're basically doing a whole new rebrand, and it's going to launch as a new listing. It went under contract within a week. And this was, not a house that would normally go that quickly. It was more of a prior.
I think it was in your neighborhood you grew up. Is it the one behind Target? That neighborhood?
No, different. It was in South Merritt Island.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a beautiful house.
Yeah.
But it just helped. It was vacant before. They had some funky colors on the walls, and people couldn't get past it when they went in and looked at it as a vacant house.
There are so many people that cannot visualize. Like you said before, you can walk into a house and see it. And I can too. I did that with our house we live in now. But just to be able to see where you can put stuff, how to lay stuff out. People don't.
I remember when we bought our house in Swanee, the person we had bought it from, they were there 10, 15 years or whatever, and they just had acquired a bunch of stuff. And and I remember Diana coming in like we bought
it fully furnished.
We bought it fully furnished, and I remember Diana coming in the first weekend, clearing out the clutter, getting everything, and we threw probably half the stuff out just because there was just too much stuff in the house. And I remember the owners coming back, because they're friends of ours, coming back a couple of weeks later, and they were like, Diana, you freaking killed it. This place looks incredible. It never looked this good. I
imagined putting it like where you put that.
We get a lot of those comments too, from the clients, from the sellers more than the agents, and they're just this. I don't even know if I want to sell my house now. It looks beautiful. I never imagined it looking like this.
Yeah.
And that's nice when they allow us to come in, or I say us, but you guys do the design. Because
hey, you make beds sometimes. You do a really good job, Gerry. You're like me though; she has to fix it.
Yeah, I don't try to do that part. I stay in my pay grade, which is just picking things up and putting them down on the stage. But it is neat to see how happy and satisfied they are when they come in and decorate the houses the way that they do.
Yeah.
They'll say, I've lived here forever and I didn't realize I could change that and put that there. Yep. Just because once you're in it, it's just habit and it's there. There's no change.
Well, there's a big difference too between like designing a house functionally for you to live in and designing a house with a buyer in mind. Yeah. There's a huge difference there. So we kind of always have that in mind for me, coming from the agent side of it, I always come in and think like, where's the photographer going to take the picture? Like that's going to dictate where we're hanging this artwork or how we're situating this room, because we want it to present, we're staging for the buyers. We're not staging for the sellers. Yeah. We're staging as a tool in a toolkit that agents use to market their listings. Yeah. So as a stager, I have to come in and think of it that way as well. I'm not coming in and thinking of like functionality of like, oh, this is how you would live in this house. I know that the way that we set up the furniture is not always the way that someone's going to come in and set it up to live in this house. So, as a stager, it's just not all about beautiful design. You have to think
the goal is to sell the home.
Yeah, exactly.
She tried to teach me this. Oh. So when I left the corporate job and was full-time, full bore, here we go. Before you had joined us, it was just her and I, and Shannon showed me with the decor, like, don't put the green piece here because there's this tree here and it will clash in the photography. And I'm like,
what did I do?
It's not going to work.
Yeah. I was like, I can train you to stage.
Like, I can move the couches and the tables and the chairs.
You just tell me where to put it.
Really quickly, we learned that.
When the decor pieces come out, I just sort of blend into the background and
there you go.
Like, hey, you guys done yet?
He's managing the inventory at that point.
I am. And if the sellers are there, it's not ideal. But I usually try to sit there and talk with them and just get to know them. Usually there's pretty interesting stories, and it also keeps them out of their hair. So shaking hands and kissing babies becomes my role after all the heavy stuff.
We ended up knowing one of the guys that we came into his house. Remember? They were talking about hunting or.
That was an occupied stage.
That was.
Yeah, so obviously it's a lot easier to do one that's vacant. Are the challenging ones the ones where people are still living there? Yeah.
Just because they're so attached to their stuff. And a lot of them don't like change, So like to move their stuff around, some people are like, oh.
Yeah. The analogy
especially if they stay there.
I don't know if this is user friendly for your podcast, but The occupied stage is trying to make chicken soup out of chicken shit, you know, and
Not
it's
always.
tough. And not always, but a lot of times that's the tough thing is how do we use all of the stuff that's here and market it the right way. And it's pretty tough.
I bet.
It's hard because a lot of times when we're getting hired to come in to do an occupied stage, it's because the stage doesn't present well, doesn't show well.
Right. People are coming in and they don't see the vision.
So it's hard to come in and try and make a cohesive look with furniture that doesn't match our furniture.
Yeah.
So that it's very challenging. A lot of times the occupied stages take us longer than the vacant stages. Because we're working with other people's stuff and we have to be the bad guys coming in there and be like, no, I don't.
You're going to have to take that out.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
You know, a lot of it's like, you know, an older client that have, you know, the Victorian big, heavy wood furniture. And, you know, the older you get, the more particular you get about
your
stuff.
ways.
Yeah. So but I like them, though.
Yeah.
That Shannon always calls me. She's like, can you come?
I'm like, we got to occupy stage. No, they are very beneficial. It can definitely make a difference.
Yeah.
You know, so
I would think in this market too, like you guys couldn't be like this is the best I feel like market type for your business.
I agree.
Houses are still selling, but they're not selling fast. Like you have to put your best foot forward to sell the
That's
house.
right.
There's a lot of competition out there, and I feel like it is the perfect market for you guys right now.
Yeah.
So if you could just like bottle this up and keep it like this forever.
Yeah, the 2021 market wouldn't have.
No,
No.
because MLS was selling it on its own.
That's right.
And
That's
so you
right.
really didn't have to have the staging aspect because the houses were moving so fast.
yeah, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, and they're moving fast enough where your inventory is not being held up for 90 days, right? Or plus. And so in a really slow market,
It costs you.
it'll cost you.
Yeah, because
And
we have to
you
procure
got
more inventory.
would you guys have to charge more in a slower market, or how? You know what I mean? Have you ever thought about like that? If the market does slow to a point where it's taking 6 months to sell a house, I'm making it up, but
No, the model's built to account for that.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
whether it's the market dynamics or it's the specific house that's staged, the way that our contracts are built, it accounts for a house that sits on the market longer because we do have a contract date and we do have a renewal rate. And the renewals are basically built for inventory procurement.
yeah,
So it's obviously it's another revenue stream, but it's really to account for the additional inventory we need because the model is built on the inventory moving within the contract time frame. And if it doesn't, then the renewal rate allows us to procure more inventory to account for the inventory that's
I got you.
staying on the market. So whether it stays out for 6 months or a year, those renewals will kind of help offset that for us
Yeah, absolutely.
financially.
But yeah, I was thinking about that before the podcast, and I was just in my head, I'm going, man, this has got to be the perfect market for a stager because you're like right in that sweet spot of the timeline on the market, and
Right.
and like you can't just list your house anymore.
Can't.
Right. And I I think an example is say you have the exact same house that one's in Merritt Island and one's in Rockledge, but it's the exact same house, same builder built it, in the 90s, let's say. It's the exact same house. All the details are the same. And one is staged and one is properly marketed and gets the right exposure. And the other one has, say, poor photography, no staging, and not the same level of marketing. I mean, it's pretty obvious which one is going to get more views, get more foot traffic, and eventually get a bigger offer or an offer more quickly. And I think that's where the value comes in with some of the top agents that, do take those additional steps and have that as part of their strategy in getting a house sold. And there's a couple things that we, like to mention. One is, staging your house is cheaper than your first price reduction.
Yeah, good point.
But it's also typically cheaper than your first month of holding costs too. So, the typical house that we're staging when it's priced right is under contract well under 30 days.
Yeah.
And, you think about just your holding costs, which I think is different for investors versus someone who's lived in the same house. If you've lived in the same house, you're used to your mortgage coming out. You're used to your, the rest of your holding costs, electric, water, whatever it may be. Obviously, I'm thinking of a vacant stage, so they're probably not living there. But that 1 month of holding costs is typically more expensive than the cost to get your house staged.
Yeah.
Now, if you have 2 months of holding costs and you do a price reduction and then you decide maybe we should invest a little bit more into getting our house staged, well,
that, you already lost.
You lost.
You're coming out double whammy. Yeah.
What it would have cost to stage it from the get-go.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of the value comes in. If we can do it reliably, we can do it consistently, try to pride ourselves on the communications, just the overall customer experience, whether it's with the agent or the seller. And any sellers who call us, we're a referral from an agent. So our customers are the agents.
Yeah.
And just making sure we have a consistent and a reliable experience with them is, where that value comes in. That's truly, I think, our differentiator.
What would you say to a realtor that wants to do virtual staging over a physical stage?
So we were talking about it this morning, actually. A lot of people will do virtual staging, and I don't fault agents for doing virtual staging. Sometimes your commission is just not there, and it is cheaper to do some virtual staging, but you're getting people in the door based on everyone's out there shopping on Zillow or realtor.com or whatever. And your presentation of your photos and all of that stuff is key to getting people in the door. Well, they have an expectation when they see that house is virtually staged or staged. A lot of times they might not even know if it's virtually staged. Well, then they go see the house and it doesn't look like the same house. They're like, what? The scale is off. I'm never going to be able to fit 2 couches in here or whatnot. You want a consistent look all the way around. So when people are seeing this house online, they see this beautiful stage. You want them to go in and see the beautiful house. We want them to walk in the door and be wow.
Your customer is getting the look from the time they take the pictures to the time they walk in. It's all consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and sometimes I'll even recommend, okay, so we have a lot of owners that will call us and they request like, I want my whole house staged. And it's expensive, number one. If you're going to stage your whole house, we're start charging by the room, right? But it's not necessary. I say you get your biggest bang for your buck staging all your main living area. So your living, dining, family room, whatever. And then your primary bedroom. Also kitchens and baths are important as well. But I don't remember where I was going with that.
Because the key features of the house is what you're trying to show. Like you said, the main living area and stuff like that. You don't necessarily need to do every bedroom if it's a 4-bedroom house.
Yeah. Come out of pocket.
She's not trying to upsell.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, a real estate agent almost never reaches out and says, I want this whole house staged. I want the living room and the dining room staged. We'll go in there and be like, this is, if there is, I wouldn't call it an upsell, but I think we could do something to.
And there are certain scenarios that if there's a room that we think needs to be added, then we'll, give them that option.
There might be a room like right off the main living that you're like, oh yeah, that probably.
Right. Or you pass like a dinette section and all of that staged right there. Like you're not going to want to leave one room in that whole flow empty.
Absolutely. Sometimes we'll stage like guest rooms that are super small or it's going to be a challenge or someone's
just to show like, hey, this is what you could do with it.
But I'm not big on upselling. I'm always about like this. We want your property to show.
You're trying to help the seller maximize their profit.
So sometimes I will recommend virtual staging. Like, hey, if you want your whole house to show flawlessly on the MLS, like let us come in and stage the important ones so that when they walk in that door, they're getting that wow factor. But save yourself a few bucks if you want your guest rooms to be staged in your photo, save yourself a few bucks and,
But one I was just thinking of that we did, I don't even know if you were there for most of it, was the Pink House a few months ago.
Oh, yeah.
If that house was virtually staged, it might have had some people interested in it.
Yeah,
and when
it was
they showed
definitely
up
like a
empty,
1980s. Still had pink walls, pink carpets. The sun has shined through the window and faded the carpet. But it was one of those ones that I'm like, I don't know if this is going to help. But then you walk out and you're like, holy crap, it did help.
But their marketing strategy for that house sold quick.
Yeah.
And that was...
it did? I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Wow, that sold quick.
That sold super quick. There was a good strategy behind it.
I mean, when you have a house with good bones, like you can do, stuff to make it look fairly, even when we bought our house, like I knew it was a good house. Like, was it something I wanted to move into right away? It was move-in ready. So we lived like that. We've slowly gone room by room pretty much.
Yeah.
But I remember you and I moving things in there, and we're like, what are we doing with this one? And when we left, I was like, this looks
reminded
pretty good.
me of my childhood bedroom.
But put yourself in a
It really did. My mom had a girl, and I had 2 brothers. I was a tomboy. Pink walls, pink carpet, flower. She had an interior decorator come in and do our whole house. And it was awful.
Yeah. Well, put yourself in the buyer's shoes walking into a house like that. Mm-hmm. Had there not been furniture there, look at all the things that they would have picked out. Yeah. Obviously, you're still going to see the pink carpet, but it's not the first thing that you see when you walk into a house. Mm-hmm. If you're walking into a vacant house, the first thing you're seeing are all the things that are wrong.
Like putting makeup on a pig.
That's right. You pick out all the flaws. Paint that needs to be touched up, flooring, all of those things. If you walk into a house that is staged, you're not able to pick it apart that way. You're
there's some distractions. Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So
what is life for Gerry and Shannon outside of the staging boutique?
At the moment, it is fairly chaotic as well. but I think going back, it's nice having control of our schedule, and we quickly switch gears from parking the box truck, putting the furniture away, throwing on the coaching hat, the mom and dad hat, and we're very active with our kids.
You coach volleyball, right?
I do, yeah. Basketball.
Yeah, she's volleyball and basketball. I'm coaching football. Our kids are very active in sports, so I'm very active outdoors, hunting, fishing, golfing, anything I can do outdoors. So as soon as the box truck gets put away, we're usually switching gears to, right now, something with our kids.
Yeah,
it's almost every single day, between whatever their schedule is after school and then trying to
Which is awesome. They say you get 17 summers with your kids. And when you think about that, Camden's going to be 16 next month.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because everybody's their senior year, they don't want to do something with you in the summer. Because I've always heard 18, but I was I'll cut one more. I got one more summer with my kid. He's probably going to be a basement kid in love with us.
Yeah, I don't know if we're getting rid of that one.
But yeah, and then another big thing, and I know it's been something you guys have been doing too, is just kind of trying to live as healthy as we can across the board, whether it's exercise, eating healthy. So I always thought I knew how to eat healthy until the last couple of years. I realized I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Trying to get the kids on board has been a challenge, as I'm sure you guys can relate to as well.
Our kids really haven't been bad.
That's good.
I don't know. I feel like they know now.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, they're kids. I let them have kids stuff every once in a while. I couldn't. Yeah, I mean, they still get lunch meat.
Their dad.
I know it's horrible, but it's the organic. I try my best.
Yeah.
I feel like that's all you can do.
That's right.
Right.
And you're doing better than most.
Yeah.
The
majority of their diet is pretty good, but we still let them get ice cream. Our kids are sugar fiends.
I ran into Gerry at the new ice cream place.
That's right.
Yeah, the grand opening.
Yeah.
That was like a reunion in there.
It was.
That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
Yeah. So, just a lot of kids' activities.
And you're into fitness as well and doing yoga.
I think that's my way of staying sane. Working with my husband all day, every day. It's like my escape of going to Pilates in the morning, or whether it's CrossFit. I just started doing CrossFit. One of my best friends just moved back from Tennessee and she coaches CrossFit. So I go to her class at 5:30 in the morning on 2 days a week. And
that's commitment.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy it. I like waking up early. I like getting my day started that way. If I don't do it first thing in the morning, I'm not doing it. Yeah. I'm not coming home from staging all day and lifting heavy stuff to go upstairs and
lift more heavy stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But it's nice, Gerry's home. He can take the kids to school now, so I can go to 5:30 classes or 7 o'clock classes or whatnot before we get started.
I've already packed 3 lunches and taken all the kids to school, and he's still in bed.
Dang.
Sometimes I just want to.
Our kids I don't know what's gotten into them, but they set their alarms for 6 a.m.
Nice.
It's crazy.
Do they wake up early on the weekend too?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, Reese has been sleeping out. She goes to her best friend's house the last 3 Saturdays. So God only knows what time they're.
We don't get that. Our kids don't leave. Our house is the house that everybody comes to.
Our house used to be,
do
but
a sleepover just once.
Reese's friend moved to Vieira, so now they think there's a Publix next door, so they get to walk to Publix, and it's like, who knew
Publix
was such a cool hangout? Who knew?
Club Pub.
Right? Yeah. Apparently this Publix has like a second level where you can go upstairs and eat, and they go up there and they think they're like the coolest thing. 12 years old, you know? So no, it's fun. It's fun. Just being a parent it's wild.
It is.
Wild. It's busy. It's a busy life.
I've been doing the triathlons for the last couple of years. That's been pretty exciting. It was it kind of started with just getting ready for elk hunting. So obviously our group of friends, they're big into elk hunting. I went a few years ago. I struggled. I did the Peloton like 12 times for like 20 or 30 minutes. I was like, all right, I'm ready to go elk hunting. I was not ready to go elk hunting. So the next year, I started training in February.
Who would have
for
thought
September.
that elk hunting would get him in shape?
It really was, though. And it's such an important part of success is being able to get around the mountains. And so I started cycling a lot. I started swimming a lot. And then one of the guys I worked with, he's like, why don't you start doing triathlons? You're doing 2/3 of it. So I started running too. And I've actually really enjoyed it to where I have a stretch goal. I don't know if my body will allow it, but I really want to try to do a half Ironman by the end of the year.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
So I don't know if I'll get there. She thinks I'm
crazy.
crazy.
You kind of got him into that too, though, didn't you?
He got me into the triathlon. So the first one we did, he was signed up for it, and he's like, can we do a relay? Because he has a bum knee, right?
Yeah,
so
he's like, each part that the other couldn't do.
So he's like, can you run it for me? I can do a 5K, sure, no problem. You know, I had been running and stuff at the time, and then we got into it, and it was like, I saw like 70-year-olds out there, and I'm like, I can do this. Like, I felt like a wuss. I'm like, I'm only out here doing this 5K portion. All these people have done the swim and the bike and all that. So anyway, that kind of motivated me to start doing them with them. So
yeah, and it's cool. The kids have been there, and they kind of see us doing it to where, you know, when they want to play the video games or whatever, it's a little easier to, you know, not just do as I say, not as I do, but do as I say and as I do.
Yeah,
and
I set an example for them to.
Yeah, it's tough getting older.
Yeah, we just built a gym. We turned our third car into a gym.
So jealous
we're jealous of your gym.
And my boys are out there literally every day.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And you can see a difference in them.
Really?
Like they're already putting on muscle. And,
you can't see it in us. Though.
Yeah, no.
You guys look great.
I need to get out there more. I've only been getting out there like a couple nights a week, and it's just not enough. I need to be out there like 4 or 5 nights. But
he, again, is the person that does it at the end of the day. Yeah. Like, he needs to wake up while I'm taking the kids to school.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to do. Part of that, though, is for me, especially prior to this, was my mental state and dealing with the stress of the day, or just being more patient with the kids at the end of the day after a stressful day. If I exercised in the morning, all of that was better throughout the day. Yeah. And it made such a huge difference in just my overall mental composition.
Hey, your view on the Peloton's not horrible either.
No, it's not. Unfortunately, our Peloton, for those that don't know, is dead center
a Hobby Lobby.
All of our decor and art.
Nice.
And then there's my sweaty Peloton station.
Yeah, so they have this nice second floor that could be like an awesome like ensuite.
Yeah. And it was at one time.
You walk up and it's like a Hobby Lobby. It's very impressive though. You like walk, you got books, frames, pictures,
pillows.
The back wall or the pillows are all in the bathroom. And then the front wall's like all plants and decor.
Yeah.
So and then my Peloton right in the middle, looking out at the water.
Yeah. People that don't know what. Yeah. Don't worry, your decor is safe away from his sweat.
I know the first time I came in, she's like, it smells up here. Gerry rides the Peloton. I was like, I have 3 boys. I don't smell it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we are envious of your gym.
Yes.
Well, come on over. Check it out.
I know. I told her.
Come put it to work.
So our ultimate goal. So right now we run our business out of the house. So we are lucky that we have a detached garage on our property that was not built for staging. We built it prior to starting. Yeah, who knew? We forecasted it. So we've got this big, it's like 4 bay garage out there, and that's where we keep all of our staging inventory, except for our art and decor. Obviously, that took over the second floor of our house.
The nice view room.
Yes, a nice view. That's where all our guests would stay. But We are actively looking for a commercial space. We're trying to get it off of our property. So if there's any agents out there listening and you have a commercial space, hit me up because we are looking.
That'd be cool to like get your home life back.
It would be great, and
then we're gonna turn our garage into.
Our ambitions are to be like the Trouts and put a gym in our house.
It really was the boys, like they
were really pushing for it.
Really? It's that awkward generation that doesn't want to go out and speak to people, so we'll just build it at home so you can be even more of a hermit.
That's right.
And I wanted to build it at home because I won't, like, if I have to go to the gym and do all that, like, that's going to keep me from doing it.
Yeah, I won't go either.
Like, I've started to, like, work out and do all that stuff because I can just walk right out into my garage and do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's super easy for me.
Yeah, that's what Gerry
And so
is.
I wanted it to make, selfishly, I wanted it to do it for me, too, of, like, I need something just super easy.
Yeah, when people ask me about my workouts, I was like, I call it the junkyard dog workout. I don't really have much of a plan. I kind of have a goal. Yeah. I have an outcome I want to achieve, but how I get there is kind of the junkyard dog approach at the house.
Yeah, just grabbing whatever you can.
It seems to be working okay.
Yeah, no, you're doing great, man. You look incredible, dude.
So
I know he always talks every day when I'm going to work. He's like, Gerry looks so good.
I ran into you a few weeks ago. I feel like at the ice cream shop or whatever, and I was like, I left. I called Diana. I'm like, what the hell's Gerry doing?
I'm like, he's moving
carrying couches. Carrying couches
and eating peanuts.
Oh gosh.
It's always an interesting statistic, whether it's family or friends, when they're asking us about the staging. I'm like, yeah, we're now the proud owners. So I looked, 72 couches. So we own 72 couches now.
Yeah. Wow.
I always think that's kind of a cool stat.
That is an awesome stat.
Yeah, the logistics of the furniture is
the things you get excited about when you get older.
Yeah, right.
Diana was telling me a story. Do you have like something that you keep in your back pocket when you're staging with them or whatever, and it looks like a dip? And Gerry's always like,
no, it was my supplements.
Yeah. I was like, dang, you start doing Copenhagen.
Child's really stressing.
Hop in the box truck.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was
turning you into a degenerate.
Flat supplement. I was like, yeah, Gerry, I take supplements and I'm dipping now.
It looked like it.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, gosh.
Awesome.
Yeah, Diana and I always have our little supplements in our pocket. I'm like, I forgot to take my B vitamin today.
I've been really, really bad lately.
Yeah.
After this surgery, I just can't bounce back.
No.
All right, well, let's wrap it up, folks. Right. So how can people find you guys? What's the best way if they want to connect?
So we have Instagram and Facebook. It's The Staging Boutique. We also have stagingboutique.com. Reach out to us there. We try and post all of our all of our stages on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. So it's also on our portfolio on our website.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, you guys are incredible. Super proud of you.
Thank you.
It's really been awesome to watch how fast your business has grown. So
thank you guys for everything.
Yeah, thanks for having
appreciate
us.
you having
Thanks
us
for
on
hiring
here.
me.
Yeah. Thanks for putting those breadcrumbs out. Diana was like, hey,
my husband wasn't happy about it, but I am.
Oh, we'll talk about that. So I worked really hard to get us to a point where she didn't really have to do anything. You know what I mean? And so it was like, and then she comes home one day and she's like, oh, by the way, I took a job with Gerry and Shannon, And meanwhile, I'm thinking in the back of my head, well, shit, I could use the help if you really want to work, But it really did make her happy, and she really loves working with you guys. And so thank you for that. And it's been good for us, too. It's kind of got her away from dealing with what I deal with all day. And,
make things a little healthier.
Correct.
That's good.
But no, I wasn't a fan at first, to be completely honest, just because I was like, in my head, I'm going like, why does she want to work? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we worked so hard to get her to this point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's been great. And it's, and you guys have been awesome, like working, around our busy schedules and lives and stuff. So
I love it when Diana's like, I can work this week. Yes. Diana.
Things are getting done.
Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah.
I mean, my part-time title is very part-time.
Yeah. I think Danielle loves it too. She's like, is Diana coming today?
Like the whole team's just happier.
Yeah.
It's great having that extra help, And I think it's good for you too. Like,
I get to go out. Yeah, I get to go out. Like I told Shannon, I was like, I'm not giving up pickleball. Like my house would have to be on fire.
Yeah. She's like, I can't work on Wednesdays. I have pickleball. Okay. I got
what
it.
boss would ever approve that?
You show up whenever you want.
I had to lay the foundation for my part-time job.
Perfect. It's perfect. But it's good for me too, because it's hard as a business owner to be able to reliably give hours, especially in this business. I mean, you know how the real estate business is. It's like, it can be a roller coaster. I mean, we're fortunate where we've gotten pretty consistent. You know, as a
but
growth
there are
to get
some
there.
weeks that you don't have anything that you can give to people.
Yeah,
I think
it's been a while since
when I say yes, I show up.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's good employee.
That's important.
That's good.
Cool.
It's important.
Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for
Awesome.
having
Let's
us.
get out of here.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Yep. That's a wrap for this episode of the Studio 321 podcast, powered by Brightway, the Steve Trout Agency. We can't thank you enough for being part of our journey. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with a friend. Until next time, 3, 2, 1, we're out.